Week 3 in the Always Sunny in Sayreville League was a wild one. We had 2 games that were just massive blowouts, each won by over 80 points, and there was another game that was decided by just 2.3 points. Injuries this week. Johnny's cousin, Cairo Santos, injured out on IR. Also on IR is Darren Sproles, who absolutely exploded, like physically, literally exploded. He broke his arm and his ACL on the same play. Never seen anything like it before. He is done for the year and most likely for the career. Also, Kelvin Benjamin fucked up his knee, which looked really bad at the time, but as the week has been going on, it's not quite as bad as they thought. He did not get any structural damage, and he's basically like day to day, week to week. High score this week was actually a pretty close contest. Only 0.6 of a point separated Todd Gurley from the next highest scorer. He scored 39.9 points for the Moth. There was actually 8 30-plus point scorers this week. That's kind of a lot. I don't know if it's the most ever, because I'm not that ridiculous with the stats, but it is a lot of 30-point scores. Only one game in the entire slate did not have a 30-point scorer. All right, so the poll results. The poll results are in. We had 5 people vote in the polls this time, so week by week we're gaining another voter. I appreciate it. We're doing great work out there. The question was, which 3-0 team will remain undefeated the longest? So you had to look at the roster and the schedule. And winning with 3 votes was the Gotham Rogues, combination of a very strong roster and comparatively easy schedule, I guess. The Schwartz and Sweep the Leg each received 1 vote. But no votes for all of them will lose, and all of them did actually win this week. So, we'll get to a little bit more on that later. Okay, so one of those teams that received 1 vote in the polls, the Schwartz, was involved in a key matchup this week with Rutherford B. Hazy. And this was the closest game of the week, just a 2.3 point margin of victory or defeat, depending on how you look at it. Now, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, and I don't know anybody who is, but if you're a Rutherford B. Hazy fan, as I am, your heart was ripped out and stomped on at the end of the Falcons-Lions game. Matt Stafford, starting for Rutherford B. Hazy, appeared to have thrown the game-winning touchdown to Golden Tate, which was ultimately reviewed and overturned, and then there was some 10-second runoff, which ended the game, and Rutherford B. Hazy fell 2.3 points short of a victory that would have been his first victory of the season and would have knocked the Schwartz from the ranks of the unbeaten. However, it wasn't to be. The Schwartz remains undefeated, and Rutherford B. Hazy still looking for that first win. Brutal loss. Brutal loss. The highest score in the league this week was Team Blumpkin, who put an 81-point hurting on the Toddler Fight Club, the hopeless, hapless Toddler Fight Club. 182.2 to 101.2. 81-point beating. Jordan Howard led the team with 33.6 points, and he had 3 other players scoring 20+. Now, this is the highest score of the year so far by any team, and it's also the highest score in franchise history for Team Blumpkin. And for that, Team Blumpkin is this week's hero. Now, I did mention 2 80-plus point blowouts. The other one saw the Rusty Strombone defeat the Golden Showers by a score of 164.2 to 80.9. The Rusty Strombone finally came alive, had 2 30-point scorers and 3 20-point scorers en route to their highest score of the year so far and their first win. And the Golden Showers, on the other hand, only scored 80.9 points, and they suffered, as I mentioned, an 83.3 point beating, the worst beating of the year so far, and an all-time top 10 worst beating. We'll get a little more information on that in a minute. The Golden Showers only had 2 players score in double digits. They had 1 player score in the negative. They had their lowest score of the year. They had the lowest score of the week this week. And straight up, when you get beat by 83.3 points, that's a bad look. And for that, the Golden Showers are this week's GOAT. Alright, so this week's blowouts got me thinking, obviously, about the biggest blowouts in league history. So I took a look back through the record books, and what I found was pretty interesting. there have been some pretty major murders in this league over the course of the years. Last year was the worst. 107.8 point beatdown. The Toddler Fight Club destroyed Bootleg Crab Leg. Then you have to go all the way back to 2013 when the franchise formerly known as Shower Hug destroyed Bobby J by 104.1 points. In all, there have been 4 100-plus point beatings in league history, and the 2 80-point beatings that took place this week rank number 8 and number 9 all time. Alright guys, time for key matchups. We have 3 undefeated teams. As I mentioned before, all of our undefeated teams won in week 3, and so we're going to keep an eye on what they're going to be doing in week 4. The Gotham Rogues, sitting at 3-0, take on the Toddler Fight Club, sitting at 0-3 in this Porter Division showdown. Will the Toddler Fight Club be able to scratch his first win, or will the Gotham Rogues continue his rampage as the highest scoring team in the league? If you like wide receivers, you'll love the number 2's division matchup between 3-0 Sweep the Leg and 1-2 the Golden Showers. And in our other number 2's division matchup, we have the 3-0 Schwartz taking on the 1-2 Rusty Strombone. The Schwartz coming off his lowest scoring game of the year, and the Strombone coming off his highest scoring game of the year. So which teams are going to show up to play in week 4? So that's it guys. Week 3 update over. Remember to set your lineups, remember to vote in the polls, and I will see you next week where it's always sunny.